There are two Stave churches in Borgen. This is the newer one that is in use today. We will be visiting the very old church that was built around 1180. Here's the cemetery. Some new tombstones, some very old tombstones, and a very old retaining wall. Here's a close-up of a log cabin with a sod roof. Borgen Stave Church, built in 1180. Second oldest church in Norway. It's the most original. Almost everything inside is original. The wood is 800 years old and never restored. There's Christian crosses. And those are dragon heads. The old symbols made it easier for the people to accept Christianity. There's 4 circles here for the 4 evangelists. Either this is a tree of life or something from the pagan beliefs. It was retarred last year, and that preserves it against rain and bad weather. So since 1180, they've been doing this every 4 to 5 years, put tar on it. This is a bell tower, built in the early 1200s.
And it was built because the Stave Church could not support the big heavy bells. You had a separate bell tower.
Big heavy bell in here that was too heavy to be on the church. And this is the new church, built in 1868. It needed a bigger church, and they wanted windows and heating. 800 years of coating this wood with tar. This entrance is like we saw in the museum yesterday in Oslo. Everything in here is original, has never been restored.
Human-like masks and something like a cat, a wolf, animal masks. 10 of them around the top. And then we have 2 more down at this wall. Here you can see a human mask. And also an animal mask on the other side. There has been some speculations on what these masks mean. There are 12 of them, and there were 12 apostles. This might be a possibility, but a lot of them are animal masks. As a Catholic church, and then it was a wall separating the normal people from the priests. It was after the Reformation, in the middle of the 1500s, they take this wall down. It becomes a Lutheran church. Everything is much more open. Take the wall down, they put in a priesthood chair, which you can see on the right side here. So where the priest would stand and be having his service. They put in the sacrament cupboard, 24, and it's a painting of Jesus being crucified. But this stone part standing on is actually original with the church. This would be the original altar. And if you have a little look behind you, you can see a window. The sun will come straight down on the altar.
It was all rose painted after the Reformation.
But in 1877, when the Society of Prehistoric Monuments, when they purchased the church, they wanted it to be as original as possible. So benches, windows, second floor, did not want it. Take it out, put it in a museum, and we're left with this.
This is a museum, and here's the little community in the area. This map shows where Stave churches were in Norway. Every yellow dot was a church. There were originally about 1,000 of these stave churches. Today there are 28. The remaining ones are in red. Beautiful woodwork. Here's a model of the church we were just in.
So you're going to see
Many
these
houses
little farms,
are yellow
but what we're going to be seeing here
or
is the
red.
King's Road. Now, some of this road, if they cleared the road properly and they did the work, they wouldn't have to pay the taxes. And that was a big deal. And also the thing is that they would put a branch across on a horse's back, and then they would have these two shovels. And for this road, and there's some very narrow road here, all the branches along the side of the road had to be cleared. And if it was not, if it knocked off the shovel, off this branch, off the horse's back, then they were charged. For every branch that fell, like about 9 grams of silver. That's a lot when you're talking back the 1700s. Oh, it's a beautiful ride through here.
These are Viking horses.
Move forward.
They're shorter and stockier.
Fit on the boats better.
Take a look at the sodded roof, and this is dating back to the 1700s right here, early. Look, the home. Oh, yes.
We're off the highway and we are on the historic route. Just beautiful here in this narrow gorge. That water is moving fast. Gorgeous, narrow gorge. Here are my fellow passengers. And here we are. And here are the cliffs up above. And there's the modern tunnel, but we're taking the old road and going around. Much more scenic. There are salmon down here that are trying to jump up, and I just missed one. I saw him jump as I was turning the camera on.
On the right, look at the bridge and the little walkway, the old roads.
That's the old road. On foot and horseback.
Look at that thing.
A little more pathway.
Look at the gangplank there. Look at the thing comes out to nothing.
Oh, it's coming up on your right. Waterfall.
Right.
Nice little house up there. Here's the old road.
Take it, in fact, one of the hikes starts from the Borgum Stave Church, and you can walk all the way through. It's really nice.
The Laerdal
And I'll tell
Tunnel.
you why. Listen up, and I'll tell you why what they did for
long,
this tunnel.
longest
On the
in the
construction,
world.
first off, you're going to see over 500 kilos of dynamite were used to blow this mountain through. And you're going to get to see this on a movie too. But the interesting thing is blasting it out on both ends, meeting in the middle, extracting all this rock from the mountain, and then what also is the construction of this. Just the tunnel in itself is very unusual. When I've seen the Swiss, using grinder wheels and things to carve out its way through the mountain, very different here. But also the exhaust, how they